On the news at 1, Nigerian Institute of Public Relations expresses confidence on President Tinubu renewed hope agenda. Federal government appeals to Israel and Iran to exercise restraint. Plus, Muslim cleric encourage retention of spirituality and moral application by Ummah after fasting. A very good afternoon to you, and thanks for joining the news at 1 on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. And my name is Aisha Obaali. Stakeholders have continued to express confidence and hope on President Bola Tinubu's vision that it is already transforming the country's prosperity through his renewed hope agenda. They converged on Kaduna at a dinner organized by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations Kaduna chapter to honor the Minister of Information and Maternal Orientation, Muhammad Idris. Salihu Gwanara reports.
It was a merry-making event that metamorphosed into a speech-making one, where friends, associates, and fellows extol the roles of their colleague, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Muhammad Idris, during his days as the 5th chairman of NIPR in Kaduna and his membership of the Institute for more than 30 years.
I bring you greetings from your very good friend, Senator Obasai, and I want to congratulate the Institute here for having a very fine gentleman.
One issue that I would like to say about the Honorable Minister is his capacity to mentor people, and I am an example of that.
By inclination, and by training, and by breeding, he's a peacemaker.
Muhammad Idris was one of the strongest pillars that backed me to attain the little success that we are being applauded for.
At a time like this, there is nothing better than telling Nigerians the truth. And that has been the cardinal principle of the Minister of Information and National Orientation.
These efforts the government image maker promised to sustain and explore with a commitment to upholding transparency in public communication to build trust.
The president didn't send me as minister to come and lie to Nigerians. What he has said is that I should come and explain to Nigerians, tell Nigerians what government is doing, and also take feedback from Nigerians to government so that government will be better informed. And you can see what we have done. We started this town hall meeting. We were in Kano, we met with the business community on live television. We were in Jigawa, we went to our local government on the farm and had a town hall with the farmers. The president will return greener pastures to all the nooks and crannies of this country so that everybody will find his feet and then will find prosperity.
The renewed hope agenda, he assured, means well.
If you are looking for one reason why fuel subsidy had to go, my one answer is that we are consuming nearly 2 billion liters of this thing the PMS called petrol, 2 billion liters. Now, when fuel subsidy was removed, it came down by about 50%.
As a fellow of NIPR, he promised to remain a worthy ambassador of the Institute. In Kaduna, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government of Nigeria has joined other members of the international community to call on Iran and Israel to exercise restraint as diplomatic efforts are ongoing to ease tension and avoid a further conflict in the Middle East. A statement by the spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Francisca Omayuli, notes that in this critical period, it behoves the two countries to reflect on the universal commitment to peaceful resolution of conflict for the advancement of global peace and security. And on road safety matters, the attention of the Federal Road Safety Corps has been drawn to a publication by online platforms misinforming the public about ongoing recruitment of personnel into the service of the Corps. The medium is to let the public This medium is to let the public know that the corps is presently not recruiting, neither is there any ongoing arrangement to that effect. The Corps Marshal Dauda Alibiu wishes to admonish applicants seeking to join the service of the Corps as well as the general public to disregard the fake and misleading publications. The public is by this publication warned to desist from any form of engagement from the purported scammers and purveyors of that misinformation, as the Corps will not be liable should anyone fall victim. And to religious matters now, just as the question is being asked as to what is life after Ramadan, a post-Ramadan lecture has been held encouraging retention of spirituality and morality beyond the period by the visiting guest lecturer and missioner of Nasfat Gudu Islamic Center, Al-Imam Surajuddin Shuaib. Hawagimba completes the report.
Ramadan, the month of blessings, has come and gone. What are the lessons learned and what are the expectations from the faithful to earn Allah's reward? Highlighting the good deeds done during the holy month of Ramadan, which include giving out zakat, feeding the less privileged in the society, and reading the Holy Quran. The missioner says should not be neglected after Ramadan. Imam Al-Imam Sirajuddin Shuaibu advises Muslim faithful to keep the acts of worship to themselves, as the acts also shield one from evil.
We need to sustain all this. We have this. Among them is what we do call salat. Salat is everyday or daily prayers that we need to observe according to Allah, and this is on the basis of our pillars that we have in Islam. Then we have sadaqah representing zakat. Zakat is among the pillars, but this one is just a mandatory aspect for those who have means to do it.
Some members of the Nasrullah Ifati Society of Nigeria, Kubwa branch, described the topic, retaining spirituality and morality beyond, as apt. Hence, Muslim faithful should not relent in worshipping Allah.
And it does not mean that you should forget your 5 daily prayers and you should not go and drop your Quran.
Prayers for peace, progress and stability of Nigeria, as well as for families and members, were offered. Hawagimba, NTA News.
Still on religion, the Muslim faithful world over just concluded a 30-day fast in obedience to the tenet of Islam. It is the month of Shawwal, which would be followed by several other months before another Ramadan. What is expected of the faithful after the month of mandatory fasting? Hawagimba again takes us through duties, expectations, and lifestyle.
There are duties for every Muslim faithful to observe after completing the 30 days Ramadan fast. These include fasting 6 days in the month of Shawwal, which is highly recommended, making up the missed fasting during the month of Ramadan for a valid justification, keeping the spirit of Ramadan soaring throughout other months of the year by the means of seeking Allah's support.
So, in a nutshell, encouraging us that we should continue with the good work that we've been doing or we did in the month of Ramadan, because the Allah, God that reward those that worship Allah in the month of Ramadan, is the same God that will reward you in the month other than Ramadan. So as a Muslim, it's not only the month of Ramadan that you will be doing good work. So we are encouraging ourselves, all of us, that we should continue the recitation of the Holy Quran after the Ramadan. We should continue giving out charity, assisting the less privileged ones, particularly now.
A Muslim faithful is also expected to constantly beseech Allah for guidance on the right path, as well as help to maintain steadfast in faith and not to forget observing optional fasting after Ramadan and other obligations. It is expected that Muslim faithful are guided in the worship of Allah to earn His reward. Hawagimba, NTA News.
Who will now join Ustaz Abdullahi Awal Muhammad of Ansarul Islam Society on what is expected of Muslims after Ramadan.
And at the same time, after Ramadan, just like we say, God is still there. What we do during Ramadan is expected of us. In fact, to double it after Ramadan. Be the gift you give, the feeding you do to people, continue. The same people you fed during Ramadan are still available. Feed them. Charity. Go on with that. All good things you sure you did during Ramadan is expected of you to even double after Ramadan. Because if this is done, most of the shortcomings that we are seeing within the Muslims wouldn't be there. Those who are good in drinking, if they can try, because during Ramadan they left it, if they can try and abstain from it, go away from it, it will sanitize them, sanitize the system. Those who are good in fornication, if they can try and stop it, just like they did during Ramadan, they will have a better life. The good things they've been doing during Ramadan is expected of us to continue doing it even after Ramadan.
And that was Ustaz Awal Muhammad speaking on what is expected of Muslims after Ramadan earlier in our news bulletin. And still to come on the news. Residents of Karunyanya and East Environ decry lack of water supply from FCT Water Board. These and more in just a moment.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
I will celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The latest station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja,
would say have a lovely day.
Thanks for staying tuned. Residents of Karu and Nyanya are calling on the Federal Capital Territory Administration, especially the FCT Water Board, to come to their rescue as surviving for several months without pipe-borne water has been a Herculean task. Serafina Okon-Omekwe completes the report.
A while now, we don't have water. We even spoke to the Senate representing FCT. They said that the water have an issue. They will come and rectify it. Up to date, we have not seen them.
Very bad situation. I was in federal housing for the past number of years. We don't have water in the office. NEPA, ADC, Karasai, no water. The whole of us, no.
Residents reacting to the state of water supply in Karu. Many decry the water scarcity and seeming neglect for months. Coping with the heat has been unbearable and house chores more difficult as they now rely on water vendors for their daily water needs, and that does not come cheap.
Been suffering for water like Merua. If you see Merua, we are buying 1 jerrycan from them, 150 naira per jerrycan a day. We are suffering a lot.
Since September last year to date, no water. And when we try to find out what is the cost of the thing, they say the thing spoiled at a canal on your way to Abuja barrack. And they wrote a memo to the minister, worth costly about 50 million. Issue of buying water, Merua, using Merua and all those things, and pure water, it's on the high side. We can't afford it. It becomes another different thing to us. Even to
the Merua now, how
much is the full truck?
A truck is 1,300 in my estate. And bag of pure water is 600 naira.
A visit to the Nyanya Karo Water Board, we were referred to the FCT Water Board management, but no one was willing to make comments. A stopover at the gallery where the canal tunnel is situated, and there seemed to be a hope in sight as repairs and maintenance of the facility is ongoing.
Where is this water going to now?
You don't come inside.
Okay, just answer me now. This gallery behind me houses the water trunk line pipes that supplies water to residents of Nyanya, Karo, and its environs. Now, it takes water from the Husuma Dam down to this area. And we've been told that for the past 8 to 9 months thereabouts, that water supply from FCT Water Board to this axis has not been functional. And that is because the pipe here has problems. But with the workmen around, they are saying that they are hopeful that water will be restored as soon as possible. In Abuja, Serafina Okon Omekwe, NTA News.
Meanwhile, dividends of democracy is expected to make impact on all citizens, whether at the federal, state, or local government level, with citizens' responsibility remains demonstration of patriotism. Inclusion in governance has been described as the ideal way to look to. These were the thoughts of community head of Jita Village. Charity Zaka completes the report.
Jita Village is located in Jiwa Ward in the Abuja Municipal Area Council, housing the major Abuja dump site. The community had just been connected to the electricity national grid after years of living in darkness. They, however, are soliciting other basic social amenities like piped water, primary health care center, primary school, among others, to help ameliorate their sufferings. Community head of Jita Village, Ayuba Sunday, also appeals to well-meaning Nigerians to support their graduates with opportunities to acquire skills since the jobs are unavailable.
Government to help us to build a clinic here so that it will assist us anytime we have a health challenge.
I have about 10 graduates, not be only secondary levels. So we have university levels and federal polytechnic and some HND holders. So there is no work for them. So that they are able to motivate the community so the community will be developed well.
Although it is a small community, some Nigerians have found Jita Village to be a home. Ebiama Patience Ambaduga, who hails from Delta State, has lived in Jita for 15 years. While she allows the support given to her by the indigenous people, Patience appeals to government to improve on the face of rural areas so all Nigerians can feel a sense of belonging.
Years I've been in this community, living peacefully with the Gbagi people. I learned how to eat tuwo and every other food they can eat. The Gbagi people are quite a peaceful people to live with, and they are loving people. I still believing that the God who has made them to remember us for light will touch them also to remember us for the remaining things.
Regarding the Abuja major dump site, which shares a fence with the village and happens to constitute nuisance, Jita residents are hopeful that government of the day will do the needful in safeguarding their health. Charity Zaka, NTA News.
Meanwhile, a Thanksgiving service in remembrance of the paramount ruler of Karo Chiefdom, late Sakri Emmanuel Kelta, has been held. The one-year memorial held at the Ekwa One Karo brought together family members and associates. Deborah Gazaji-Maika captured the moment.
Sapele, represented by Mabushi District Head at the Thanksgiving service, comforted the family with this piece of advice and word of encouragement.
What we are doing today is mainly to thank God that, since the departure of our father, you have been faithful to all of us. has never failed us and will not fail us. No matter the circumstances we are facing, God is here for us.
Chairman, Abuja Municipal Area Council Christopher Zakame Kalangu charged Karo community, which is known for unity and progress, to guard against divisive tendencies as they are about to have a new leadership.
Leadership is not by strength or by power. It is God that gives leadership. And whoever going to succeed, please, that is God's choice. And that's my message to them.
Amak Bari representative also condoled with the family and said late Emmanuel Keltai will be forever remembered as he was a man of good hearts.
Karo should live by example in all they do. I preach for peace, I preach for unity, so that the progress of Karo will not be held down.
The one-year memorial service in honor of the late paramount ruler of Karo Chiefdom, late Sakari Emmanuel Keltayepui, coincided with the Ekwa Youth Week of Prayer, which dwells on integrity, with reference to the book of Daniel chapter 3 verse 13, where the 4 young men in the Holy Scriptures did not despise themselves with the king's delicacy.
What we need from this FCT for our leaders to do is to lead as they were called to lead.
And next is some sports reports. Abuja sport is believed to be as old as mankind, but still struggling to gain recognition like other sports. Sports correspondent Francisca Villa in this report examines the role of stakeholders in promoting the sport in Nigeria, especially as it is symbolic of the commemoration of the International Street Children's Day 2024, with the aim of taking them off the streets.
Abuja sport is a Paralympic sport that is highly competitive and is fun for able-bodied as well as disabled athletes. Now the rules of the game is that every athlete is given their separate balls to throw and target the white ball, also called the jack. Abuja has its roots in ancient Greece and Egypt and is thought to be one of the first games played by mankind. During the demonstration of the game, David Issa emerged overall champion with the highest score after defeating Godwin Mark 3-1. In the female category, Blessing David won Wasiu Habibat 1-0 to clinch the gold medal. While in the mixed single category, Farida Wasiu defeated Moses Christopher 2-1.
It is an interesting game and I believe in myself that I'm going to win.
The game was introduced in Nigeria in 2022 by Frank Harrison to improve the life of the less privileged and to groom grassroots athletes to international standards.
We want to take the Abuja to a school game. So we want all private school and government school from the nursery to primary to start playing Abuja.
My advice would be that it should become a well-known sport for those who are special needs people, especially. It helps them come out, it helps them interact, it helps them feel like they are needed, they are wanted, it helps them feel part of the society as well.
The respondents appealed to the Paralympic Committee of Nigeria to approve the sport as a result of its prospects so that the youth can benefit from it.
And for more sports reports, let's join the sports decks.
Undefeated Bayern Leverkusen have secured their first Bundesliga title with a 5-0 victory over Werder Bremen, breaking an 11-year stranglehold on the league by Bayern Munich. Xabi Alisson's team, who have now gone a league record 29 matches without defeat this season to secure their first trophy since 1993, have a 16-point lead over Bayern with 5 matches remaining. Nigeria's sole flag bearer at the ITTF World Cup Mako 2024 Arena Quadri has been drawn in Group 15 of the men's singles, as the Nigerian will slug it out against Portugal's Marcos Freitas and Puerto Rico's Daniel Gonzalez. 48 players drawn into 16 groups of 3 players each in a group, with the winner in each group advancing to the second stage of the competition. Elsewhere, coach Adewumi Agbolashitu has called on the Ministry of Sports to join hands with the Handball Federation of Nigeria in ensuring that Nigeria's under-18 women's handball team have the best preparation ahead of the 10th Women's Under-18 Handball Championship in Ghana.
And before we go, let's take a look at some top stories. Nigerian Institute of Public Relations has expressed confidence on President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. And federal government has appealed to Israel and Iran to exercise restraint. And that's how we conclude the 1 p.m. news on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. I am Aisha Uba Ali. Thanks for watching.